Have any of you guys ever had a cup of coffee before? Raise your hand. You ever had a soda before? Energy drink? A piece of chocolate? So pretty much everyone. Have you guys ever had around 5 to 6 cans of soda in a day? You guys are champs. 3 to 4 cups of coffee in a day. Oh, you're still going. So if you have raised your hand this time, you have consumed more than the daily recommended dose of caffeine, making you an addict of one of the most widely used drugs in America, caffeine. Today I'd like to share with you some information about caffeine. First I'll explain just what caffeine is and the proper dosage of caffeine for daily human intake. Next I will discuss the sources of caffeine and where you can find it. Lastly, I will share with you the positive and the negative effects of caffeine on the body. Let us start by understanding a little bit more of what caffeine is and what the safe dose for caffeine consumption is. Caffeine is a crystalline compound that is found in tea and coffee plants. In its purest form, caffeine is a white powder which is bitter in taste. It is most commonly consumed by humans in infusions extracted from the seeds and leaves of certain plants, such as the cocoa plant, coffee plants, and other leaves used for teas. Caffeine is also used as a food additive. It is also addictive in all of its forms. Though caffeine is most widely known and used for its stimulant effects on the central nervous system, the FDA has issued it generally recognized as safe because the lethal doses for overdose is very high. The Food and Drug Administration recommends moderate consumption of caffeine that is no more than 200 to 300 milligrams of caffeine consumed per day. According to Weinberg and Beeler, authors of The World of Caffeine, experts agree the maximum safe dose of caffeine is 500 to 600 milligrams, while the lethal dose of caffeine is 10 to 15 grams. Now that you have a basic understanding of what caffeine is and how much is too much, let me now point out some of the sources of caffeine that we encounter throughout our daily lives. While there are many common sources of caffeine that you may already be aware of, caffeine is also hidden in several other products that you may not have previously known about. Coffee and tea is probably the most widely known carrier of caffeine. The average cup of coffee contains about 100 milligrams of caffeine, while coffee is a natural carrier. There are other products such as energy drinks that have caffeine added into them in production. A Monster energy drink has approximately 160 milligrams of caffeine in a 16-ounce can. Other sources of caffeine are chocolate and some dietary supplements as well as diet pills. Caffeine is also found in some of the over-counter medications such as Excedrin. Soda is one of the most popular products by which caffeine is an additive. This is one of the primary reasons that so many individuals are addicted to soda. Now that you're aware of some of the sources of caffeine that you encounter daily, let's now take a look at both the positive and negative effects of caffeine. Caffeine has both notable benefits as well as negative effects on the human body. Many people consume caffeine to help with drowsiness and fatigue, or as treatment for migraines. It is known to aid in increased focus, concentration, and better overall body coordination. It is also said that long-term consumption of caffeine has been linked with a lower risk of cardiovascular disease and diabetes. Weinberg and Beeler also explained that there have been studies that show that caffeine can aid in lowering the risk of Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease. While there are great benefits, consuming too much caffeine has its negative effects. The Complete Guide to Prescription and Non-Prescription Drugs, written by Dr. Winter Griffith, explains some of the common side effects of heavy caffeine consumption, including high blood pressure, rapid heartbeat, insomnia, nervousness, dizziness, and even sometimes headaches. According to Dr. Augustine Aurora, author of Caffeine, Factor and Fallacy, it is suggested that pregnant women limit their caffeine consumption because studies have shown that caffeine may cause miscarriages or slow growth of their fetuses when consumed in an amount greater than 300 milligrams per day. Those who are addicted to caffeine experience side effects from withdrawing, much like the effects of too much caffeine. In conclusion, today I shared with you some of the basic knowledges of caffeine. First, I shared with you about what caffeine is and the safe daily dosage of 200 to 300 milligrams. Then I talked about some of the sources of caffeine Lastly, I shared with you some of the positive and negative effects of caffeine consumption. Now that you've learned a little more about caffeine, the proper dosage, and the effects it has on your body, you can now monitor your own caffeine consumption and remember that though caffeine is a drug, it is safe when consumed in moderation.
Thank you.